I'm going to read some poems that are in our new book and some that aren't, and you'll have to figure out which are which. The Fate of Spiders and Nations.
Can you get closer to the mic, please? Thank you.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. The Fate of Spiders and Nations. Today the wind is quiet, but everywhere I sense quick lives underway, in budding or fading shrubbery, and the quiet sounds of birds in pursuit of their inmost goals, in neighbors' anonymous comings and goings, in the grinding on and on of politics and wars. Yesterday, a small woolly spider sprang from the drain when I turned on the shower. It was drenched and dying, and I wrapped it in tissue and dispatched it down the toilet. Today, another, like the first, skittered desperately beneath the water. My heart went out to it, but again, I killed it. This world, death everywhere, is it a phase in the fortunes of nations? If we could look back centuries from now, might we know the progress of fates, read the reasoned reports, how nations settled the conflicts of our time, if they finally did? Just listen now to the birds at midday, comfortably clicking and chirping, like wise storybook grandmas humming and stirring at the hearth. So many deaths, so many lives, carrying on as we must, for within each life, all creatures sense that everything counts. This was written when I was still living in Prospect Park, where there was a lot going on outside that I could hear. Now I'm in a building where we can't hear what's going on.
We want to be able to see you, too.
Oh, no. That's not just, okay.
Is that better?
Okay, is this better?
Yes.
Windows flung wide. If it weren't for the chirping and cawing, tapping and buzzing from rooftop and leafy hideout, or the swish of distant traffic, if not for the buzz of computer and hum in the head, if no planes were rumbling, no tree trimmers sawing, no refrigerator groaning, nor washer spinning, if the children down the street weren't shouting at play, and the cat wheezing in sleep, if the silence of the telephone were not so loud, and the echo of your absence so ringing, then might I hear the spurt of juice from the first peach of summer dripping down my chin. Surprise. Doing this, scooping thoughts from glimmering motes of dust, joining my voice with others to enrich a melody, traveling through a crisp blue afternoon under a teasing moon. Doing all this is just another trick, like poetry, for unsheathing the banality of happiness. Doing this, like unexpected passion, is another link from head to heart, like discovering precious souvenirs once hidden for safekeeping. Doing this is like opening a sticky lid. I twist and turn and struggle to release what's inside. What pops out? Myself, as surprised as an unleashed pup in a grassy park, marveling to find myself here, running free. This one is called Bonsai. I urged your tender stalk to toughen, back to stiffen, leaves expand within the bands I placed to force them forward. An angled outline, branches thrusting, leaves flat, as if battling fierce wind, is what I hope to see. You leaned because I bound you. Still random branches shot forth. Geometry's balance was my plan, never yours. After months of pruning, coaxing, careful watching, I wondered, can this be right, this bending nature to my will, creating in a window's protection what thrives unaided along steep mountainsides in punishing winds? I remembered what I'd learned from other lives I've loved, who also twisted away, rejected constraints, conformed in the end only to the demands of their own gorgeous growth. So I released your bonds, saw you spread unfettered, vigorous, and daily revel in the bounty of your unimagined self. Why such ecstasy? Like the addict who needs more, or a loved one's gentle touch. My common garden broadcasts its appetites, propels the golden honeysuckle into yet another outpouring of blossoms, creates next spring's buds on the already bloomed rhododendron, tints orange the berries on my climbing bittersweet, which in other years remained pale green till well beyond this date. I, too, in my late years, note a welling up of senses, an almost readiness for another go at the follies and goads of yesterdays. What is happening? Is it a growing premonition spreading like a newly mutated virus, infecting plant and animal alike, or a warning from the winds of the universe that we're all endangered and must heed the unknowable command to get busy, show our stuffs, thrive and blossom while we can? Is it the flare before our flaming planetary match fizzles and dies? Now, in an entirely different vein, in search of the perfect pencil. I open a little used drawer. A jumbled wealth of gizmos and gadgets accrued over time spreads before me. Such gorgeous shapes. Were I an artist, I'd prepare my canvas, take up my brush, saturate the space with circles and splashes. See how the Scotch tape holder curves, like a freeway sweeping towards an exit ramp, the tape spreading forward like the road ahead. See the small scissors, its twin circles for the fingers, blades angling out. Which road should you take? And look, a child's paintbrush, left over from a long-forgotten project, bushy brush fanning out like the hair of a tousled 5-year-old, ready to bend to the whims, to the whims of a bright young imagination. And the phalanx of pencils lying at horizontal attention, whispering, me, choose me. This is my last poem. Old writer speaks up. Get the wrench, or maybe the screwdriver. A hammer might be needed, or at least the sole of a shoe. I've got to tighten things up. All these loose words bopping around. Maybe someday they meet and embrace in recognition of a solid thought. But mostly they just flip past each other, rollers at the skating rink, bus riders shouldering on to the next express. Whoever reaches home first wins. I remember those games. I was 6 and a mighty fast runner, also good at hiding, but that got boring after the rush wore off. Then, gently, tactfully, the idea of discipline was introduced, finally required. I liked it, the reining in of chaos, comforting. Age is so predictable. Should I be ashamed for not wanting to hear the band bang on a can when Mozart is right around the corner? Or words flying loose when the world is going to hell? Go on, write me off. I'm halfway out of here.